What do you say? What do you know? It's the full Monty Sports Show. It is Monday, November 22nd, 2021. I am your host, Monty Perez, aka the Sports Whisperer. Want to thank Gus Farrat yesterday for joining the show. Former NFL quarterback, host of Huddle Up with Gus, did a tremendous job. Fans really seem to love him. We had 32 states watch across the country the full Monty Sports Show. You can follow me on social media on Twitter, MontyJP231, on Facebook, Monty Perez, Instagram, Monty Perez 2, and on TikTok, Monty Perez 231. In about 2 months, we are at, I think, 90,000 views on TikTok. In 2 months, we're almost at 90,000 views on TikTok. So I really appreciate everyone watching. We can only do this with your help. So make sure to subscribe to the Nuts and Bolts YouTube channel. And make sure to give us a thumbs up for this particular show. And again, subscribe to Nuts and Bolts Sports. Give us the thumbs up for this show. We are fired up and ready to go. Week 11 was crazy. Let's bring on our two talented co-hosts. You may know her from doing stand-up comedy. You may know her from her morning show in New Mexico, The Animal. Let's bring on A-Marie. How are you today?
I'm doing just dandy. I'm running on no sleep. We gone so late last night from New York. But with the Vikings beat the Packers, I'm good.
Listen, we'll get into that. I can't be mad. It was obviously a great win for you. And then let's bring on Brad. Brad, how are you today? You know him from Browns Wire, All Eyes on Cleveland. His podcast has over, I think, 1,700 subscribers. How are you, Brad?
I'm excellent, Monty. Crazy day. Locked myself out of the house today. Then proceeded to throw a rock through the window because I was in a hurry to get to an appointment. My wife was furious. So, crazy day.
At least you didn't lose to the Lions, buddy.
Well, yeah, that is true. Okay, Anne-Marie, we're going to break down every game in the NFL. I have your Vikings background up there. Bask in your glory. This was, I got to say, I'm not even mad. I'm watching the game with my dad, and we just said this was the most entertaining game I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, and I pulled up a real fun stat for you, Monty. But I'm not one to brag, but I think this was a huge statement game for the Vikes. I think people overlook us, and I think we're a good team, not just because we beat the Packers. I just think we're a good team, and it's always like this is like my glory moment, my Super Bowl. Every time we beat the Packers, like as you know, they're the most hated, despised team in my 35 years of life. Anyways, but how about this? In 3 of the past 4 seasons, the team that won the Packers-Viking game in Minnesota has advanced to the NFC Championship game.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
wow. Look at that. I thought you were going to pull up this stat right here.
Kirky. Now, a lot of people say, too, he got away with a lot of interceptions yesterday, and I did think he got some Aaron Rodgers calls. But I thought it was a very fun game, though. And I was like, oh, we're giving Aaron Rodgers way too much time. And I didn't think it was going to be a 75-yard bomb down the field. But he actually did us a favor. So, yeah, it shows Kirk can win games, too.
I mean, look at this stat. He has 25 games with 300 passing yards and 3 touchdown passes, surpassing Aaron Rodgers for second most ever by a QB in his first 10 seasons. Only Dan Marino had more, and that's what I said when Aaron Rodgers hit pass. I'm like, they too much time.
Right, I said that too. I was like, so that's why I think at the end of the game too, I can't believe we had that much faith in our kicker because just like PTSD as a Vikings fan, when we kneeled to just kick the field goal, I thought that was kind of smart. It's like, yeah, leave no time on the clock.
Yeah, and it's getting annoying. Like I love having you guys on. But every time the Browns win or the Vikings win, I'm getting text messages. So happy for A-Marie. So glad for Brad. I'm like, you could text me that when they're not playing the Packers, But again, I don't even like, and I'm going to talk about this when we talk about the Jets. I wasn't even mad after the game. I'm like, wow, that was so entertaining. You can't win every game. And again, I'm the type of person who, before I started coaching, I was so emotional. I couldn't sleep before a big game. And then once I started coaching, I'm like, look, I watch football and basketball, sports for entertainment. So was I upset they lost? But the minute it was over, I was watching the Dallas KC game. I didn't even think twice about it. What?
The only thing I was nervous about though too is like I'm a big believer if Dalvin doesn't have like 25 carries, he had 22. He still had a good game. It wasn't like a huge game, but it was enough. Yeah. And Justin Jefferson had a huge game. So
that's what I was gonna say. His comments after the game about just throwing the ball up to him. He was kind of like, I'm trying to get Kirk to just kind of.
I love it.
Put it up.
I love it because we play so conservative, and so that's what made me so happy yesterday. I was like, no, we came in, we're confident, we know we have the weapons, we're not doing this dumb screenplay. But anyway,
he did it. He put it up.
Well balanced offense. JJ was on fire yesterday. Even Thielen. I mean, that was perfection.
I was shocked that I thought Dylan and Cook would both have 120 to 140 yards.
Yeah,
but it was the passing game.
It was passing game, and then Dalvin Cook had 86 yards. So I just wanted to manage the clock too. You can't get. Aaron Rodgers still had 4 touchdowns. He had a bad game, and he still had 4 touchdowns.
It was such a fun game to watch, and obviously the Vikings are now back in it. We'll get to that in a minute. And just on my side for the Packers, I can't be mad. They're 8-3. They played well. They started off slow, but I gotta say I'm done with Mason Crosby. We're in week 11. God. He's missed 8 field goals.
That's not good.
What are you doing, man?
Good. That's not good.
I'm done with Mason Crosby. I think it's just, again, 8 field goals in 11 weeks that he's missed. So it kind of puts you behind the 8 ball.
And you lost by 3 yesterday. So
exactly. So, you can't ever blame one person. But give the Vikings all the credit in the world. Great game. Congratulations. A big-time win. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I think the Packers win the division. Okay, Brad, let's switch to your Cleveland Browns. One of the things I thought yesterday, I'm like, I don't care that Baker didn't talk to the media. Who cares? That to me doesn't bother me. But
me neither.
Can we make the argument that maybe they shouldn't have started Baker because they're going up against the Ravens? And
Can we make that argument? Did you hear me last week?
Yeah,
Did you hear
But fans were attacking you on social media because they were like, oh, well, look what happened to Pittsburgh. There's a big difference between Mason Rudolph and Case Keenum.
Huge difference. But, I mean, like last week I took one of my shows, I ranted on, I think it was Thursday night, I ranted on about how dumb it was to start Baker Mayfield. This is your opportunity to get him a week's rest before you have to go into Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. He's got a knee, a foot, a shoulder. The shoulder's not going to get better, but the knee and the foot are bad enough when it comes to mechanics. And I took that, cut it up, and then put it out on Twitter like, hey, here I'm saying don't start the guy. Not that it matters what I say.
But I don't understand the criticism of this. Why are people upset about that?
A lot of people upset about it. A lot of people calling me out today, even afterwards. I'm like saying, hey, even if you disagreed with me before the game, at halftime you at least had to say, come on, guy can't really play right now. He looks so bad out there. He can't throw to any. He's missing all wide open throws. At least Keenum could make the easy passes, right? Mayfield's not even doing that. And he's getting more dinged up, and it's not improving anything. You won the game 13-10. If you won the game 13-10 and Keenum started, you would say, oh, phew, great. Our backup got us a win we needed to get. Kind of like he did with Denver, right? Squeaked out a win with the run game, played conservative, got the win. Great. You feel fine about it. But 13-10 after Mayfield looks like dog shit all game long, and then now you're like, oh crap, now what? He's got to get better in a week to go play Baltimore on Sunday Night Football in one of the biggest games of the season. The narrative has completely changed. It made no sense to me.
Yeah, no, and Stefanski, listen, you always want to protect your quarterback. You always want to say, listen, I thought he gave us the best chance to win. But again, the narrative now is you're coming off a win to play the division leader in the Baltimore Ravens, and you don't feel good about yourselves.
You don't. You don't feel good about anything. I mean, you feel good about the run game. The defense played better, but it was the Lions. I mean,
Right.
It was the Lions. I mean, so what do you say? I mean, a win is a win is a win, right? Everybody's had a tough time with the Lions. I mean, their resume is actually pretty amazing, all the close games they played, right? So, I mean, we'll take the win, but Baker looked really rough. I mean, you've got to understand, like, even if his shoulder, like he had a really good game against the Bengals with just his shoulder, and you're like, okay, he can mechanically get the ball down the field. He's adjusted to the whatever he's got on his shoulder, the sling or harness or whatever, right? He's making some adjustments, but now it's his bone bruise in his knee, a bone bruise in his heel. We know you're tough, dude. Like, I know he's tough. He's a tough son of a bitch.
Right.
You don't get any credits for being tough, man.
Right.
You don't get that doesn't give us any more points on offense. Like, that doesn't complete any more passes for you.
Right.
We know you're tough. That's great. But that affects his mechanics. You saw mechanically he looked terrible. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
So what has Stefanski said? Because obviously when Baker doesn't talk, they say, well, is it a health issue? And if he's worse off than they're letting on, why is Stefanski playing him?
Well, I don't know. What they're saying is he gives us the best chance to win, right? And okay, sure. I don't see practice, but it's got to count for what you see in the game somewhat, right? I mean, that was the guy's case to me on Twitter today. I was getting all these people like, you're not at practice. You don't know what's going on. What do you mean? I saw the game that Keenum played. I saw he can throw a 5-yard out. Mayfield can't do that right now. Come on. 2 + 2 = 4 sometimes, right? Most of the time. I can't. I don't.
Brad,
it's frustrating.
I got into an argument last night with trolls, and I'll get into that. And it's just not worth it, man. It's just like, and again, like one of the things I always say is, I don't care if people disagree with me. I'm wrong a lot. But when you start like taking personal attacks, like just shut the hell up, troll. Like I don't need to hear it. Like it made no sense, and you put it in good perspective. If Case Keenum goes out and wins 13-10, you're like, good job for the backup. But when your starter struggles like he did, you're like, wait a minute, there's something really wrong in everything he's doing now.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, how much better would you feel as a Browns fan going into Sunday Night Football to know that he had a week off? Mentally, physically, you don't know what you're going to get, right? Maybe he gets right in that week or figures something out to go into that game. But now, what can happen in a week? How much better can you get in a week?
Yeah. People agreeing with you, Brad, so I like to see that. Okay, so we're going to move over to my Chargers. Listen, this game was just so insane for me to watch.
Oh, my gosh.
And here's what I'm going to say. I posted a video of Big Ben missing a pass. And then all of a sudden, they look at Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin's like this. And then Big Ben's like, my fault. He can't throw on 3rd and 29.
But then he went off. He went off, though.
Yeah.
He was spectacular.
But on
Turn
3rd
back
and 29,
the clock style.
No, it's like on 3rd and 29. I said he can only throw 23 yards. So it was ridiculous. But again, how many times do we watch the Chargers take victory and just throw the game away? A block punt. They had a tip interception. And then I don't mind going for it on 4th and 1 at your own 34. But can you put the ball in Justin Herbert's hands? He's running all over the field. He's making throws down the field, 30 yards, 15 yards, dropping dimes, and they run a dive play and they lose 2 yards. Yeah, this game was crazy.
It's absurd that watching the Chargers offense is so infuriating because you just want them to open it up more. And let him be the talent that he is. Because the offensive line is blocking for him. He's got all day to throw when they dial up long plays. You've got 2 amazing receivers out there, not to mention Eckler out of the backfield. That offense could be run much more efficiently. And then, to give up the block punt, it's like these teams in the AFC, like, it's crazy. All these teams in the AFC have 5 wins. And they just keep beating each other and finding a way to screw things up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's what out here. The Bills lose to the freaking... I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what's going on, but I thought the Chargers were better than they are. I thought Pittsburgh is worse than they are. Everybody plays somebody and it's a different result. It's like, it's just a merry-go-round of teams that really should be better than they are, but everybody's shooting themselves in the foot week in, week out.
And not only that, I see this division where everyone thought the AFC North was going to be what a great division. And like you said, injuries. The Ravens have lost 18 players due to injury at one point. The Browns are injured. the Steelers were injured last night, but like I watched this team and I say to myself, Big Ben's the fourth best quarterback in that division.
Yeah,
So you're going into these games, you're going to have to outshoot Justin Herbert, which you can't do. You're going to have to outshoot Joe Burrow, which you can't do. Outscore Lamar Jackson. If the Steelers had a competent quarterback who could actually make plays, so many of those throws last night, I'm like, man, Ben reminds me of Peyton Manning his last year in Denver. He just can't sling it. And yeah, he'll make a good throw here and there, but it's like when Dwayne Wade in his last year playing basketball for the Miami Heat. Yeah, he'd have a game where he scored 35, 29, but he averaged like 13 a game. Like, it's just not the same. And the Steelers' offense is just dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. And when he tries to throw it downfield, he's got to hope that he underthrows it and there's a pass interference penalty.
So on Wednesday or Thursday, the days are all running together. I did a show where I did Browns in their place in based off of Cynthia Freeland's analytics, like what percentage teams' chances to get into the playoffs, right? And then I took each team's schedule and we looked at who they have left, right? The crazy thing is, and why this is all happening, is because the AFC North plays the AFC West, and that they're just beating up on each other. All the teams have 5 wins in both divisions, and they're just beating each other. And that's what they have left. KC still has to play teams. The Chargers still have to play teams. The Vegas Raiders have to play the Browns. They're just going to beat the hell out of each other down the stretch, and somebody's going to get in with 10 wins.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Brad. I don't know how this team keeps winning. Like I said,
they're lucky.
I mean,
my gosh.
Forget about Nagy. We all know he should be fired. But this team struggled all day. They just find ways to win no matter who's playing.
They just fall ass backwards into wins. It's completely ridiculous.
Yes. I mean, they won 16-13. Justin Fields gets hurt. You figure this team has nothing going on, and then they score at the end and they win
quarterback. Yeah.
No. Unbelievable. I was so furious. The game wasn't on. I was watching on the ticker. You know how you watch the little thing. They gave up a huge play down the stretch, right? I didn't see it, but there was they show the score probability, and it went from 30 to 90 in one play, and I'm like, oh, there it goes. Ravens are gonna find a way to win.
And I don't understand. I had Gus Farad on, and it came out that during my show yesterday, that Lamar Jackson was not playing.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the report as Gus is talking, said he has a flu.
Yeah.
And Gus Farad was like, I don't understand this. You got to play, man. Take some fluids. I don't care if you're throwing up on the sideline. He's like, you're battling for your playoff lives. He's like, unless Harbaugh said, hey, you're not playing. But Gus even said, he goes, you got to fight he's like, I don't understand. This is I think the second or third game where Lamar Jackson has missed because he was under the weather.
Yeah.
He gets sick a lot.
You remember in the Sunday night game, he left because he was sick last year against the Browns, the big shootout game that was back and forth till the end of the game, if you recall. And he came out of the locker room with 50 seconds left and threw that pass to Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
He was in the locker room sick that night. They were like, oh, he's on the toilet. He pulled up his pants and he ran out and won the game. It's crazy. What the hell's going on? I don't know. He's sick a lot. It's not COVID related. It's viral. Who knows? All I know is he'll be fine on Sunday night against the Browns. I guarantee you that.
Yep. Andrea says, I bet the Vikings felt good being the one to finally decide a field goal.
Oh yes. And she gets me. And I know Bears fans are always happy when the Packers lose.
All right. Hey, Marie, I said on my show, I was so wrong. I said the Washington football team just beat Tampa Bay. They are coming down to play Carolina. Cam Newton, this team's fired up. I'm like, no way Washington wins. Rico had this as one of his betting, and Rico said Washington's going to win the game. I'm like, you're crazy.
On the road. Interesting.
On the road. And I don't even think Washington's that good.
I think we all would. I'm not going to speak for all of you, but we thought they were going to be better. Especially when I did preseason shows, I was like, oh yeah, the Washington defense. I was pumped.
Sure.
And the freaking Panthers defense, I know this is a week-to-week league, but the Panthers defense I was more impressed with, with the lack of McCaffrey. This was a very close game. Ron Rivera, Cam Newton. It was fun. It was really close. Third quarter, just Washington took the game. But the only thing I'm not understanding, and I don't know if it's because I didn't get to watch this game fully, was why aren't we running Christian McCaffrey more? He had 10 carries.
Like, that makes no sense.
Like, why is Christian McCaffrey only – I know he's a little fragile, but 10 carries?
A little fragile.
You got to give him 20. You got to give him 20 rushes and at least 5 catches.
I am happy for Cam. I'm not going to lie, though.
That week to week.
I will have to say this. I like Cam, and I'm happy for him right now. I don't know how long.
By the way, his entrance, he's.
I don't know how long this is gonna last. This might be a little relapse, and that's it. Right. But whatever. My whole point is, I am so emotionally involved with the Vikings that I have Aaron Rodgers in both my fantasy leagues, and I could not start him yesterday because I hate him so much.
But
and that's
he had a great game.
I know, but it's a thing. I just not against my boys. And so I started Cam Newton and I won yesterday because of Cam.
Wow, that's funny.
He played great. He played great.
He did.
It's a good game. It's just Washington just did this much more to win.
I just don't understand.
What's crazy about Washington is, we thought they were going to have this really good defense, and then all that front four, that amazing front four with Sweat, they're all hurt, right? They're all gone now, and now they're playing well.
They kind of rallied.
It doesn't even make any sense. And Taylor Heineke, how can you not like that guy, right? He's playing his ass off.
He's playing great. He's playing great. All right, let's move to the New York Jets. Not much to say here except that, Joe Flacco, he didn't play bad. But, again, you want to talk about,
Is that your future, though? What?
No.
He didn't play bad.
Listen, because, he doesn't turn the ball over. They scored some points. The bar is set so low. And, someone said to me, again, part of the trolls last night, oh, you're a fair weather fan. I said, no, I'm not a fair weather fan. I don't watch my team if they suck because I watch football to watch compelling games. I like the Kansas City game. I'll watch a good game. Let's say it was the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. I like watching good football. I don't want to sit there every week and be miserable because I watch it for entertainment. But I said this week 1. I'll say it again.
So why are you a Jets fan? Just kidding.
Well, you know why? Because it was like an arranged marriage. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. My dad and older brothers like the Jets, so I had to like them. But I haven't legitimately watched more than 2 games of the Jets in 6 years. Why? Because I like football. I want to watch. I'll give you an example. I was watching the Oregon Ducks. They were losing 28-0 in Utah on Saturday. I shut it off and I went to watch something else. And it's not that I'm a fair weather fan. Thank you, Oregon Ducks. You kept me interested until November. That's all. All I want from my teams. If the Packers don't win, I don't care because they're going to make the playoffs. With the Jets, the season's over by Halloween. And this is how bad they are. As bad as the Jets have been over the last 5 games, they've let up 199 points. That is the most in a 5-game span in their history. 199 points they've let up.
The Dolphins are terrible too, so that game was putrid. Hey, so maybe we can use this time to talk about real quickly on the topic of the Oregon Ducks. How does it make you feel that they beat Ohio State and then Ohio State beat Michigan State 49-0.
Rails them to the ground.
Look incredible and jumped 2 teams or whatever, and then now they're second in the polls. It's a different team, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, one of the things that I never bought into the Michigan State running back to win the Heisman because they're so one-dimensional, and if they get down like they did in Ohio State, he's deemed irrelevant. But this is the thing. I said this on my show with Mario Cristobal and the Oregon Ducks. They have he's had a top 10 recruiting class 2 of his first 3 years there. So they have a ton of talent. But they just lost Michael Pittman's brother. Michael Pittman's brother's a wide receiver. He transferred before the Utah game. They're battling for a national championship. And he's like, I'm out of here because Mario Cristobal coaches like it's 1953. He wants to run the ball all the time. Great for Ohio State. It's always better to lose early in the college football season and then get better as you go along. Where the Oregon Ducks under Cristobal, I saw this how he limited Justin Herbert. He's just a conservative guy, wants to run the ball, wants to win with defense. And in college football, Nick Saban has evolved. Every defensive coach, they've evolved. Why do you think Lincoln Riley gets to the Final Four every year? He has a terrible defense, but his offense has been so good. So I'm happy for Ohio State. I think C.J. Stroud's going to win the Heisman, and they deserve the higher ranking.
Do you think they can play with Georgia?
I think Georgia's the best team in the country by far. I think Georgia is as good, or if not better, than Alabama and Clemson was I think when Georgia plays Alabama, they're going to win the SEC championship, and I don't think anyone's beating Georgia. They are the fastest, most physical defense I've ever seen.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on. Who we got next? We have Brad. Listen, I don't want to play the 49ers if I'm a NFC team. They are playing well. No one's talking about Trey Lance anymore. George Kittle, 3 straight games with a TD pass. This team's getting better as the season goes on.
Yeah, so here's the difference, right? So if you recall, I used to call this offense really gimmicky. And I've said this on the show many times, right? Now, when they were doing that, Kittle was out, and Samuel was really their only weapon with Mitchell at running back, right? So everything was like, find a way to get Debo the ball this way, that way, the other way. Now, all of a sudden, Brandon Ayuk has come out of his shell and is playing fantastic. Kittle is back, and they look like a real offense now, right? Like, they don't have to run all that gimmicky crap, and they look pretty good. The Jaguars are terrible still. 30-10 over the Jags. Handling their business. They're 5-5. We're one of those teams. It's like them, the Vikings, right? The Eagles are coming on strong. So there's some teams there that are going to make a run for the playoffs in the NFC.
Well, and I will say this. George Kittle is one of the best blocking tight ends. Other than maybe Gronk, he is such a physical presence on the offensive line. It's like having a 7th offensive lineman. Okay. What are you sipping on, A-Marie?
Oh, I'm having some wine.
Oh, okay. No more fizzy?
I had too much fizzy in New York. I just need something to relax me and so I can go to bed early tonight.
Okay.
Hopefully this Monday night game is good.
A-Marie, I've been saying this all along. I don't trust the Buffalo Bills. I didn't like this team.
I'm going to finally agree with you, Monte, because you know what's weird? What's up with Josh Allen has the yips? I still think they got, I don't know what has happened.
Wind affected him big time, if he doesn't do it, if he isn't amazing, they have nothing else.
That's my whole point. They have no running game. Like Jonathan Taylor, I have him in my fantasy football league. God bless this dude. He's the next Derrick Henry right now.
He doesn't even have the next Henry. He's just it. This guy. This is the difference. The only reason you're saying that is because Frank Wright finally woke up and was like, oh, my God, if I give this guy the ball 30 times, he's going to score 5 touchdowns because he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This kid is
like
Carson only threw the ball 20 times yesterday. Look how they played.
It is. It's a wake-up thing for Indianapolis. And I'm going to be honest, I'm still not a huge believer in Indianapolis. Like, you got to prove it to me, and I'm sorry to your boyfriend for that.
No, I have to watch it now, so I watch them very closely. And I'm like, oh, this team, they remind me a lot of the Vikings, I'm not going to lie. But Wincy and Kirk remind me a lot of each other. But, and we have an astounding running back. If you give the ball to these running backs 30 times, you're going to most likely win the game.
Great O-line. Great O-line.
Oh, my God, they have one of the best O-lines, if they do.
Well, I got to say, Pro Football Focus, I think, had them 3rd coming into the league, top 3. But I got to say, they're a team like San Francisco. They're getting better.
Yeah, they're heating up right now. They're heating up. And the Hard Knocks on HBO is really good, too. You guys should watch it if you have time.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move to the Philadelphia Eagles. Listen, a lot of people think
Jalen Hurts, huh?
They're saying this Eagle team couldn't score. But over the last few games, they've played really well.
I got a lot of questions about this game.
I mean, it just goes to show you, though, what a difference a franchise quarterback makes from year to year. I brought this up yesterday. I said, Tom Brady goes 18-0. He gets injured they lose 5 games. Drew Brees retires, and this team offensively, Drew Brees didn't have Michael Thomas a lot last year. He had him 2 years ago, but he found a way to win. Their quarterback play is atrocious right now.
Well, yeah, let's start there.
Taysom Hill just signed a $40 million contract like 2 hours ago.
Hill's contract, first of all, that was complete fluff. No new money in that deal at all. So it was all for show. But why aren't they playing him? That's the question. Like, he would at least give you some options. What's the Trevor Siemian thing? Where did that come from? I thought for sure Hill would be the guy. Is he not healthy or something?
I just don't well, yeah, he has struggled with his health. But what I don't understand is if you're paying this guy all that money to basically run 10 plays, 12 plays a game, what the hell are you doing? It makes no sense. It's almost like Sean Payton looks at this guy like he's his son and he's going to pay him a ton of money just to be on the – like, let him make plays. Put him at quarterback. If Taysom Hill is not better than Trevor Siemian, what the hell are you giving him all that money for?
He's got to be better than him, and he's got to provide him more options offensively. I mean, it's not like Sean Payton lacks creativity on offense. They can do a lot with him. Now, they're without Kamara and everything, but I will say for the Eagles that their offense is – it's an interesting trend we're finding tonight. The better offenses in the league right now are running the football. And you see that the Eagles now run offense is spectacular at this point, as they've incorporated the read option and him running the football. They've kind of changed their offense. They went from under center to the shotgun to the read option and the run game, and the read option and run game playing off each other is working beautifully for the Eagles.
Yeah, they're playing really well. They're putting up, I think they're third in points over the last couple of weeks. And I just want to put one more thing about the Buffalo Bills. The Bills won against the Jets, who are 2-7, the Dolphins, who are 3-7, Washington, who was 3-6, the Texans, who are now 2-8, and the Chiefs, who are 6-4. So can I make this claim, and we'll get to that now, after watching the Patriots beat Atlanta 25-0?
Yeah.
Are they the best team in the AFC East, Marie?
I would think so. As of now, they are at least playing better. I am just so surprised about Josh Allen. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he has the yips, but Matt, the Patriots are doing good, and I know it is the Falcons. People are gonna say that, but they're still every week they're playing better and better. It doesn't matter who they're playing.
They've won 5 out of 6, and Brad, I think this is what's so amazing about this is Bill Belichick kind of lost control under Tom Brady because you could make mistakes and Tom Brady's going to bail you out and win it. He now is coaching this team. The defense knows they can't make mistakes. The offense, this is Bill Belichick's dream, right? I control everything. I make sure that guys know how important every play is because if they don't play a perfect game, they may lose.
And all 3 Atlanta Falcon quarterbacks played yesterday and had interceptions. So that was just atrocious.
On the Patriots real quick, it's interesting. He's such a good coach, right? And this is their MO that struggle early in the season, maybe lose some games you should win, but right around November, you start to get hot. Now you won 4 or 5 in a row, and the next thing you know, they win the division and they're off to the races in the playoffs. It's happening now without Brady this year, and you're seeing Mac Jones play better and better every week. But one thing that's interesting that Belichick will do early in the season, it's almost like he will lose games to make a point to his team early in the season. Like, this is who we are. This is what you have to do. Even if we lose this game, you're going to learn how to do this the right way. And then in November and December, it pays off.
Yeah, that's a great point. Talk about you lose the battle to win the war. But I just got a sense that this is his type of team, right? No real superstars. That he took a step back this year in the draft. They appear to have a good draft class because he wasn't super involved. I wish Pete Carroll would leave the draft room because Seattle's a dysfunctional mess now. But yeah, great point on that. Okay, Brad, shocker of a lifetime. I mean, we all had Houston beating Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
They lost 8 straight coming in.
Yeah. Well, I just got done saying that I was not buying in on the Titans, right? Like, I'm not in on them all the way as. But, yeah, I mean, Tyrod Taylor gets revenge, for one game. I think that's what he's capable of. I don't know what really happened in this game. I didn't see a whole lot of highlights or anything. I just saw Tyrod Taylor flexing right there.
I like Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, this was in Nashville, too, correct?
Yeah, it was in Tennessee, yeah. Terrible loss.
Tannehill looked awful.
I mean,
he did.
Listen.
I heard his stats weren't good. I mean, but this is my thing with the Titans, right? Like, how long can they sustain this without Derrick Henry? Like, and is Tannehill good enough to go win them games with his right arm? I don't believe so.
I don't believe he is either. I mean, just if anything else, even when Derrick Henry's not playing well, they're still stacking the box so you could play action pass. Tannehill looks like a totally different quarterback without him, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, listen, the Chiefs, they're back. Their offense is not back, but their defense has gotten very good all of a sudden. And I don't know what game plan the Dallas Cowboys were doing. Nobody was open. They abandoned the running game early. I mean, Jones had 3.5 sacks all over the place. The Chiefs' offense didn't score a lot of points, but that defense was playoff ready. And I kind of thought that Dallas hasn't really participated in a lot of big games over the last 2 years like this in a hostile road. And right off the bat, the Chiefs punched them in the mouth. And I don't think Dallas had a backup plan or enough to get up the canvas. They were dazed and confused on offense the whole game.
I mean, I don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but what have I been saying? I've been saying week in, week out, I'm not all in on the Titans, the Cowboys. These are the teams, right? Like, big moment, big spot. They did not look great. They looked terrible, actually. Now, let's talk about KC's defense. They figured it out, but here's why they figured it out a little bit, right? They've moved some things around, right?
Yes.
Sorensen off the field. Juan Thornhill, much better player on the field. Not a thug, not a cheap shot artist like Sorensen. Very nice to see Juan Thornhill on the field. They tried to play what's his name at edge
Jones.
To start the season, right? Yeah. Chris Jones, yeah. Now move him back into defensive tackle where he belongs. Finally, right? And
by the way, Brad, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it was shocking to me how he manhandled the Dallas offensive lineman, who's considered a top 3 offensive lineman, the kid from Notre Dame. I forgot his name right now.
Yeah, all 3 of them. Both guards and the center. Manhandled all 3 of them. Back in the center there. So you move him back inside. You get Sorensen off the field and Thornhill on, who was a great draft pick. I liked it when they took him. L'Jarius Sneed is playing fantastic. They move Fenton into the slot. Now all of a sudden their secondary's looking sticky, like they did at the end of last year. And they do just enough, like they played enough man, right, to deter the Cowboys. But Spagnuolo does a very nice job of what I asked Joe Woods to do and prepare weekly for the opponent. And that's what he does. And then he moves some exotic zones in there, gave him some different looks. And the Cowboys did not handle it well at all.
And the offensive lineman was Zach Martin that I was talking about. Zach Martin.
Yes.
Jones manhandled him. All right, Brad, listen. I had this game. It was kind of easy to pick. I think the Raiders, all the stuff they've gone through, are just a sinking ship. Joe Burrow, mixing 7 straight games with a TD. How good can this Cincy team be this year, Brad?
I don't know, right? So they lost 2 in a row. So they lost to the Jets, they lost to the Browns, and then they had a bye week, right? And then they come back and win this one against the Raiders. I don't know how impressive it is because I think the Raiders, too, are a sinking ship. This is their MO, right? Start fast, hot, and then fade.
I think their wide receiver doing what he did really has affected this team because he was super popular in that locker room as well.
Yeah, and they're fading. So, yeah, the Bengals can be good. It's hard for me to be like a huge believer. I just think they can get hot on offense. Are they a complete team? Like, can they make a run in the playoffs? I don't really think they're ready for that yet.
All right, and let's move finally to Arizona versus Seattle. This is the first time Russell Wilson has lost 3 straight games.
Crazy.
Pete Carroll's miserable, and part of the reason why is he keeps running the draft, and this defense is horrible. Backup quarterback went in there. Colt McCoy played well. Give all the credit in the world to Cliff Kingsbury. They're 9-2. Kyler Murray should be back next week. Seattle, if they lose next week, they're done. And I didn't see this coming. I thought Arizona would maybe be 9-8. I thought, the Rams, the 49ers would be the elite teams in that division. But the Cardinals are playing great, even without Kyler Murray. 9-2.
Yeah, it's impressive what he's done, and exactly what, once again, I was asking them to do. I mean, he has a smart move, sit down your quarterback, let your backup do his job. And Russell Amory, tell me this. Is Russell Wilson going to want is he going to want gone this offseason?
I think Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson want to leave their teams.
Okay. So this is right. I've been hearing this this is the hot thing in Cleveland, right? They're down on Baker. Everybody wants Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Here they come. But here's what I said to everybody. I said, if you have to go out and trade for one of those guys, it changes. This is what people don't understand.
You have to go all in.
Yeah, so you're going to have to give up like 2 1s and 2 2s and your future ones and whatever. You have to get them, right? Deshaun Watson is the other guy, right? So these 3 guys, if they're available in the offseason, it's going to be wild. And Browns fans are pounding the table like, Baker's not the guy. We've got to go out and get somebody. The problem is, when you give up that kind of draft capital, your roster has to change immediately because you're bringing in a guy who's already paid a QB contract, right? So these guys are making close to $40 million now. So your roster has to change immediately. And then when you go to supplement that roster, wait a second, all your 1s and 2s are gone. So when you need guys on rookie contracts to fill in and fill these roster spots, they're gone because you used them to bring in the quarterback with the big contract. So you're screwed if you do it, you're screwed if you don't. Why not just stick with the kid you got and see what you can do?
Well, I'm going to say this. It's going to be interesting to see what the Rams do, right? Because if the Rams make a Super Bowl run, they gave up every draft pick. The Lakers did this a few years ago to get Anthony Davis. It turned out to be the right move because they won a championship. So if the Rams, and you see the formula, and listen, if Russ calls Cleveland or Aaron calls Cleveland, they're going to make the deal. There's no way they're not going to make the deal.
I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not for it.
I would take Aaron. I'd give up 2 number 1. I'd give up 3 number 1s for Russell. I'd give up 3 number 1s for Aaron Rodgers. I would.
All right.
How many years left does Aaron Rodgers have, you think?
Look, and here's why, Brady.
Maybe he'll pull a Brett Favre, come to the Vikes. Kirk Cousins done next year.
Forget about the talent you have. Forget about, giving up draft picks. Right now, Cleveland has a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. So you could win. You could win a championship with an elite quarterback if your roster is healthy right now, as it is.
Monte, I don't want to go win a Super Bowl and then turn around and suck for another 30 years. I want some relevance for more than, come on. Let's.
But Brad, we're seeing now, right? We're seeing like the Lakers went out and they traded all those guys for Anthony Davis. They won a championship. Then they go out, they trade for Russell Westbrook. Nowadays we're seeing
different.
No, you could do with like Peyton Manning, even though that was the defense.
Right.
You could
Peyton
do with
Manning,
Tom Brady going the Bucks. Like you could do all this crap.
If you go to a talented
But I'm not saying that's what you should do.
No, but I'm saying if you go to a talented team like Brady did.
Ring chasers.
Yeah. Well, Brady had rings, so I don't know if it's exactly chasing, but I would definitely trade 2 number 1s and maybe your best defensive player for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Okay.
You wouldn't?
I would not.
No. Okay.
Good for you.
Not Rodgers, maybe Watson.
Because he has more time, like
not a popular thing, but I think Deshaun Watson is a player that you can have for the next decade.
Okay, so Brad, you're saying you would do it just for a younger quarterback?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Let's move to next week. Let's start with you, Marie. Listen, you play the 49ers. Both teams playing well. Both teams desperate to keep winning. What's the scouting report on this team? I know that the 49ers kind of like to push teams around, but I think the Vikings and Kirk Cousins hasn't played great against them at times. Sometimes he has. What's your scouting report on this game?
Okay, I don't know if people agree with me because it's like kind of like let's get over it. This is kind of a revenge game for me because I don't know if you remember when we beat the Saints and then we had to go to play the Niners and they got everyone back held in the playoffs and whatever.
Yes.
You remember all that. And I feel like the Niners, and it's going to be such a good game because we're both, like Brad was saying earlier, we're both 5-5. I do think we are better than the 49ers all around. I think they're a fragile unit and they're a weird team. I think it's
they're like the same team. They're like that Spider-Man meme, pointing at each other. They run the same offense.
Yeah.
They run the same wide zone
quarterbacks. The quarterbacks get criticized too much sometimes.
It's gonna be a weird game.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Brad. Give us a scouting report. You play the Ravens next week. What are your concerns?
Let's go Browns.
My thing is run the ball 35 times, right, with Chubb?
Yeah, I mean you can't. I wish it was that easy. You can't. I mean, you got that. I think they're going to get Hunt back. It's supposed to be in practice this week, and Conklin. So you get your offensive line back to full health, and Hunt back is huge to go into that Sunday night game. So yeah, you got to get creative and run the ball a whole ton of a lot. We saw the shootout last time they played in Baltimore. Remember the crazy game I talked about where. Just earlier in the show where Lamar got off the crapper to come out and win the game. So it's all about defense, though. I mean, that's what it's all about for the Browns. It's like I think they can score points against this team, and I think that Stefanski will have them ready offensively. It's all about stopping Lamar, though, right? Like, how do you do that? I think maybe you try to take a page you watch a lot of that Miami tape. Take a page from them. The Browns have a lot of versatile secondary players that they haven't really used efficiently this year. John Johnson, Denzel Ward is playing fantastic. Had another incredible pick in the game on Sunday. Trying to get paid. Use these guys, Delpit, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who they went out and got basically for this game to play Lamar Jackson, is healthy. So, I mean, you got to spy him, use the speed, and try to keep him in. The Browns have a hard time with their outside rushers, Garrett and Clowney. They get burnt all the time for rushing upfield. You have to pressure him from the inside, right, and contain him. You can't run past him. Leaving him running lanes is suicide. So, we'll see what Joe Woods comes up with.
So, Brad,
this has been my complaint about him.
You'd be happy with a split, right?
I'd be happy with a split. Yeah, I think the Browns need to get to 10 wins to get in. And I think if they split with Baltimore and I'm giving them a loss to Green Bay, that would leave them 3 games they would have to win. Pittsburgh, who they lost to once, the Bengals, who I think they can beat. They've shown they can beat this year, and the Raiders. So I think that's not too far-fetched of a situation to get to 10 wins.
Right, and you think they can get there?
I think they can. Do I feel great about it? No, I don't. They're not playing very good football right now, to be honest. But we've seen this is a week-to-week league, right?
Brad, real quick, gotta like the Cleveland Cavaliers and Rubio. They're playing very well. Their roster's fun, right? They seem to all like each other. The coach seems to have them playing well. I know they beat my Knicks a couple weeks ago. Can you see them winning 44, 45 games?
I can see them winning in the low 40s. Yeah, probably. 45, maybe a little bit of a stretch. But, I mean, they should get the playoffs in the East, right? Sexton's out for the season after exploratory surgery on his knee. That's unfortunate. But, Garland, Rubio is playing better than Sexton was playing, frankly. And the kid they drafted, what's his name? The Unicorn. He's fantastic. He's probably the best rookie in the league right now.
And also, the guy, I thought this was a very good pickup because he's not fancy, but he's a grinder and he's a double-double. Allen, their center, playing very well from Brooklyn.
Fantastic. Yeah, they're super huge. They're long. They got marketing. They start a lot of big guys. Yeah, Mobley. Yeah. Mobley has been fantastic. He's so much fun to watch. Like, I had no idea what to expect with him, but he is so much fun to watch. He can do it all. He's got a handle. He's got a jump shot. He makes all the right basketball plays. He's a really good player.
Is there a buzz about the Cavs or not yet?
Absolutely.
Oh,
for
okay,
sure.
good. Okay.
Now it won't pick up for real until football's over, or the
right.
Browns are mathematically eliminated.
Yes. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Monday night. Brad, you're down 1 to me. A. Marie, you
Son
are
of a
down
bitch.
3. Tampa Bay's 4 at home, 4-0 at home. I can't. I say this all the time. Tom Brady should have a great game today, just for the sole fact that he's one of those athletes that holds on to grudges. And the
Oh yeah, he
Giants,
has 2 Super Bowls to them.
2 Super Bowls to them. So I think at home they're undefeated. I think Tampa rolls here,
Same.
37-23.
Giants. Give me the Giants.
You know what? I was gonna say because Saquon Barkley's back tonight, and the Giants.
You know I like the Giants from the
I know you
beginning
do.
of the
The
year. I've
Giants
been on 'em.
weirdly do have something on Brady. You know what? I'm already losing. I'll go Giants too.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay.
Marie.
all right. Finally, guys, we won't see you till next week.
Happy
Marie, let's start
Thanksgiving.
with. Well, I was going to ask you, what is your Thanksgiving plan?
Aren't there games on Thanksgiving? Are we
There's
not
there
gonna
are.
be
3
kicked off?
games. So now that I live back where my family is at, because usually I pick like Christmas or Thanksgiving, I'm super excited. I haven't been to Thanksgiving in years. So I have a huge family here, 40 members plus. So
Wow.
big Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and Brad, if you were winning, would you be going with the Giants, or are you just doing it to try to catch me?
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
I plead the fifth.
Let's
Joe,
go Giants!
Joe checking in. Had to check it on the hottest show on YouTube. I love it, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay,
Fantastic.
Brad,
High praise.
what do we got here? What are you doing for Thanksgiving? You do anything big?
No, my wife is cooking here.
Okay.
And you know what? I don't, running around on Thanksgiving is so annoying to me. Like, I feel really bad. Like, I should go down to Columbus to my brother's. Like, that's where my folks are going and everything. But I got to work the next day. I'm sorry.
it's too much.
I
staying
understand.
here. I'm putting my feet up. I'm hanging out with my dog.
I'm actually
in
gonna
3 games.
gonna comment on this. I'm gonna make a TikTok video. It's mind-boggling to me that the NFL, which is such a progressive league and changing things up, making it better for the fans, the red zone, 2-point conversions, extra playoff week, and yet they continue to put the crappy-ass Lions on TV. And before anyone says it's tradition, well, you know what? It used to be tradition that you didn't have a Sunday night game. You didn't have a Thursday night game. It used to be tradition that just the division winner made it to the playoffs. So don't give me that BS that it's tradition. The Lions don't deserve to be on Thanksgiving
Give them
anymore.
something. I feel bad for them.
No
I
one
agree,
wants to
Monty.
watch. What's
I
that?
agree, Monty.
I agree too, but
I fully agree.
I
I want
bad
to
for
see
them.
good games on Thanksgiving. I don't want to watch the Lions on Thanksgiving. It's
No,
garbage.
but they are smart enough that they put it on at 12 o'clock when people are traveling.
Yeah.
All right, Anne-Marie, how can we follow you? How can we support you? How did your show go in New York?
Oh my gosh, it couldn't have gone better. That's why I have no voice tonight, and I'm recovering. I'm gonna relax tonight, watch the Giants win over some wine, and then go to bed. But follow me, Part-Time Bro, down here. Catch me on the radio Monday through Friday, 7 to 10. It's just the Pair Comedy Special coming out soon. I can't say anything else, but I'll keep you guys posted.
Okay, Marie, thank you so much. Have a great Thanksgiving. Okay, Brad, where you are? Well, where'd you go? There you go.
What's
All eyes
happening
on
here?
Cleveland. You're doing so much work, Brad. You're like me. You're constantly working, grinding it out. How many subscribers do you have now?
I was just actually going to tell you that because you always ask me this. We gained like 20 since last week, so we're coming up on 1,800 here. And I think at 2,000 something happens. I think you can do like that membership thing with YouTube.
Yes.
So that would be pretty cool, right?
That is awesome. Round of applause. Brad, and I'm going to tell you, you got to get on TikTok. Again, I'm almost at I've been on for 2 months, Brad.
I know, man. I know.
Put
You keep
stupid
telling me
videos
this.
up. Sports videos. I'm at over 90,000 views in 2 months. I have no following. I have like 350 people who follow me because I just started.
It's remarkable. I don't know what to say. I asked my son, I said, Monte keeps telling me to get on TikTok. Should I get on TikTok? And he said no. He said don't do it. I said why? Why? He said I don't want my dad on TikTok.
Well, that's. Listen, I post sports videos. I did like one dancing video.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dance.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
that's
be
what
out
I'm
there. I'm not.
Like,
I'm not doing TikTok dances or
yeah,
like pranks or whatever.
It's just
those
to
other
promote
goofs.
just to promote your show. All right, Brad. When's
Exactly.
your next show? How can we follow you? How can we support you?
Tomorrow, hopefully, the great Nick Shook should join me of the NFL. He's on the NFL podcast, around the NFL podcast on NFL Network. He's fantastic. Nick Shook is, and he's a frequent flyer on the show. He is fantastic, and hopefully we have him on tomorrow night because I've got a lot of questions to ask him about what happened this weekend with the Browns and Mayfield and all that fun stuff. I'm determined to get to the bottom of, Monty. I am.
Finally, what's the score tonight? Someone just texted me. What does Brad think the score is going to be?
Tonight I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I got 31-29.
31-29 for the Giants. All right, Brad. Have a great Thanksgiving. Always appreciate your support and coming on the show. Take care, man.
You too, Monty. And thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks, Joe, for letting me spend some time on Nuts and Bolts. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That was Brad Ward. Does a great job. All right, I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you all for chiming in the chat room. We really appreciate the contributions. The Monday night show is definitely getting popular. People are starting to understand now where we are. Definitely check us out Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And in the immortal words of NSYNC, bye, bye, bye. You have a record.